The number one reason why assisted living should allow family members to come in and visit their loved ones in a step-by-step process to achieve this goal. So today I want to start out by saying that this is not an irresponsible concept to start getting family members back into the communities, seeing their loved ones, specifically in assisted livings. This actually is a topic that's very near and dear to my heart, and it's something that I feel we all need to start advocating for. The folks that live in these assisted livings and these senior communities, many of them have not seen their family for roughly 3.5 months now. And loneliness, depression, isolation, those are all significant issues for the elderly. And families want to come in and see their loved ones. They want to be able to cheer them up. Yes, they're talking to them, I'm sure, by FaceTime or Skype or Zoom or one of these types of technologies, but being in person with your loved one is a totally different scenario. So I want to make sure I share with you, of course, think about this for a second. We're not allowing family members to come in and see their loved ones in these assisted livings. Yet, the staff at the assisted living do not live there. They go home, they spend time with their families, they go to the grocery stores, their family members have been at work or grocery stores or in and out, yet the family members of these residents aren't allowed to come in. I want to talk to you today about a step-by-step process that I believe needs to occur for families to be able to get into these communities again. And just starting right off with number one, it is going to take the families banding together in these communities and petitioning for the executive director or the administrator, whoever is over that building, for them to push that person to allow them to go in and see their loved one. It's not going to be easy. Mark my words, it's not going to be easy. However, as a group of people, if you start banding together in one voice and going and pushing and not giving up on needing to have this open up so you can see your loved one again, I believe that the community will have to at some point back down on this regulation. Again, one of the first things that you can do is share with them, well, if your staff get to go home and stay with their family and then come back, what is the process that's keeping your staff safe from getting my loved ones sick? Because when you do that, you can then kind of reverse engineer how to get that community to allow you as a family member to come in and see your loved one. So I want to go through a step-by-step process that if the community, the executive director, the administrator, whoever it is, if they're still giving you a hard time, you can have a solution to this problem. You can say, this is how we can do it, and follow this process. Of course, I'm going to say that we always want to follow the CDC guidelines. That's first and foremost. It makes the most sense. So let's make sure we're not putting that to the side. Yet let's use those. Let's use that concept. So I would say if you create a plan for this executive director and you say, the way I can see this happening is that appointments are set with family members for a family member to come into the building right as they enter the building. They can be greeted by a staff person to give them hand sanitizer and a mask. So the person uses the sanitizer, puts on the mask. Now the staff there in the building can check their temperature, can do a temporal thermometer scan, make sure they don't have a fever or a temperature above 100.4. Once that's been checked, they can put on let's say a clean lab coat or something like that the community itself has several there. Families might even want to say, hey, we'll go buy them and donate them. But that the community knows they are clean, they are sanitized, and they are ready to be used. Now the staff person could guide that loved one escort them right from the front desk to the residence room, so we know they don't veer off and go anywhere else or go into public restrooms or anything like that. But right before they enter that room, I'd want to make sure that the resident themselves has a good, maybe an N95 mask, something that's more of a medical grade, healthcare grade mask, that they're wearing that as well, and that they've been given hand sanitizer as well before they interact with their loved one. If you even want to have one more layer of protection, you can have them put on some type of lab coat as well, so that when they come into the room together, that some of your loved one's going to want to give you a hug. They're going to want to embrace you. So if that happens, you are taking the largest issues and getting rid of them, because you have a new clean outfit on, a mask, sanitized hands. So as we've heard about COVID-19, COVID-19 is truly transmitted back and forth via respiratory droplets. So if there's no droplets that were on a new clean shirt or a clean lab coat and you're wearing the mask, you're both wearing masks, there should be no concerns. Again, I want to take you back for a second to thinking about what the communities are doing with their own staff. So their own staff have to interact at a pretty close nature with residents. What they have to do is some of them have to help someone get up out of a chair or get onto a toilet. They have to help get them cleaned up and bathed. So they are not socially distancing. They are right there in the proximity, in that social space with the resident. So if one hug and embrace does happen, it's not the end of the world if you've taken these other precautions. So once you go into the room, you want to make sure that you say to your loved one, hey, we need to socially distance. We're finally getting a chance to be in here together. We don't want to push the rules or stretch the rules or anything like that. So just share that with them right up front. Make sure you maintain that 6 feet of social distancing that they're asking. And you can even have requested that the assisted living brings in a chair that once you're done interacting, hanging out with your loved one, chatting with them, that they literally could take and just scrub down that chair, wipe down that chair with a disinfectant to make sure that it's not passed to anyone else. But enjoy that time with your loved one. Try not to rush. Of course, I'm sure you'll need to make accommodations with the community, but there should be no reason to rush. Spend time with them, enjoy the time with them, keep it positive with your loved one, and then when you're ready to go, instead of going out and looking for someone, do not do that. Have your loved one press their call light, and the staff will come, and the staff can actually right away maybe squirt some hand sanitizer right back in your hands. You can wipe your hands down, go back to the front door, take that white lab coat off, put it into an area where that's labeled as dirty for the community to wash and clean up for the next person, and you've spent that time with your loved one. So, I do believe it's time for us as advocates to start rising up. I'm sure some of you out there have already started doing this. And if you've not been successful, I don't know if maybe it's because you haven't had enough people join you into this thought process. And I will recommend, when you talk to the administrator, of course, keep it positive, keep it solution focused, not problem focused, not derogatory towards them. They are trying to keep your loved ones safe. It's not a perfect scenario, but I think now is the time for them to start looking at it from the resident's perspective and you as a family member's perspective. So definitely don't back down. Continue to go and work to get this achieved for you and your loved one. And if you do need some assistance, if you feel I could offer any assistance to you, please don't hesitate to call me. I'll have my number listed here on the screen for you. And I look forward to the next video. If you've enjoyed this video, please hit the like button, and subscribe, and also share the video. But I pray that you have a blessed day. Thank you so much. Take care now.